All right, guys. So I usually don't do videos like this, but I can't help it because this right here is just absolutely hilarious, right? When a woke movie, right? A woke movie bombs at the box office, right? When the feminists don't show up to watch movies that have all the representation that they claim that they want. I think it's hilarious because it proves a point that I've been saying on my channel a whole lot, especially when it comes to sports, transgender people playing against themselves. The reason why people on the left don't advocate for it, even though that is what makes sense, is simply because they won't support it, right? They won't support the things monetarily that they virtue signal about, right? They won't do it. And I think that this movie right here, the 335, which is an all-female like spy action movie, right? About a bunch of women, right? A diverse crowd of women, spies, beating up a bunch of men, right? As if that could happen in real life. It's supposed to be like the female version of The Expendables. I think that is what it's supposed to be. But this movie absolutely bombed, okay? And I want to talk about it because I find it to be hilarious. But I told you guys I don't really watch movies like that. However, I have went to the movies recently to see the new Spider-Man. And I also read the comments from Tom Holland, the guy that plays Spider-Man, about how he wants to see Spider-Man be more diverse, right? Like a female Spider-Man or, I don't know, some other types of Spider-Man. And I'm like, dude, come on, man. Then I saw the comments from the actor that plays Aunt May, in which he was talking about how Aunt May should be lesbian, right? And I'm just like, there's a reason why y'all don't direct films, right? Don't get into directing and creating films because your movies will bomb, right? People don't want to see that in movies, right? They don't want to see this cringe push for quote unquote diversity, okay, and inclusion and all the woke virtue signaling in movies, right? They don't want to see it, okay? MJ was black. Ain't that enough as it is? You're making all kinds of money, okay? You should be happy with that. You should be happy with that. And don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with diversity, but diversity for the sake of diversity, right? Or forced diversity, I think turns people off. I think organic diversity, diversity that actually has a purpose that makes sense, right? Especially in a movie. I think that is a better way to go about it, right? When you are playing it up about how diverse the cast is, or in the movie, like this movie right here, where they openly tell you that, hey, we got a Latino person, we got a Chinese person, we got this British black woman, like that, in my opinion, is cringe, right? I think that's the problem. But let's read a little bit about this because I find this to be absolutely hilarious. As Spider-Man stays number one, okay, not woke yet, right? And the woke 335s open up with a pantry $4.8 million. The star pack female spy action pick, the 335, missed the mark in its domestic office debut, opening to $4.8 million domestically from 3,145 theaters. The movie's poor showing comes as a surge in COVID-19 cases due to highly infectious Omicron variant further spooked older female moviegoers, the target demo for the 335. Simon Kinberg directed the film, which stars Jessica Chastain, Penélope Cruz, fan Bingbing, Diane, Kruger, and Lupita Nyong'o. Poor reviews certainly didn't help. The current Rotten Tomatoes score is 27%. Audience liked it more, giving the movie a B+ cinema score. All right, so this article already is blaming it on, well, it's because of COVID-19, right? It's because of COVID. And the target female moviegoers, the older ones, they didn't want to go because they're scared of the virus, right? Again, meanwhile, the Spider-Man is breaking records, right? Breaking records, okay? And the woke West Side Story, I did do a video about that, right? The movie that doesn't have English subtitles, because apparently subtitles would give English power over Spanish. That bombed as well too. Here's a radical idea. Maybe it's not the virus that's the problem. Maybe it is these woke movies. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe people don't want to be virtue signaled while they're trying to watch a movie. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm wrong, but the money talks. Money talks. And in this case, even the woke feminist progressive left that claims that this is what they want representation, they didn't even want to pay to see this. They didn't even want to pay to see an all-female action movie. They didn't want to see it. But let's read this article, which I think is a lot more opinionated about this movie here, and I think kind of gets to the heart of what's going on. The all-female, ultra-progressive, the 335 has hit theaters and it's already destined to end up as another lackluster action flop, the same as The Matrix Resurrections. Based on a very loose connection to a supposed female spy during the American Revolution, the film cobbles together a handful of female stars led by Jessica Chastain as they work together to prevent a new world war from breaking out. Yes, a very original plot, right? A bunch of women coming together to save the world, right? Girl power. Let me guess, they're gonna save the world from all the bad, evil, sexist men out there. That's probably what's gonna happen here. Not the best or the most unique premise in the world, and that's clearly evident in the mainstream critic scores, which are abysmal. However, the story aside, and the question is why the 335 started out so poorly and will no doubt end its theatrical run without having made enough to recoup its own budget. Yeah, so allegedly they spent between $45 and $75 million on this film, right? So it only got like what, 4 or 5 million opening weekend. So this movie right here is gonna lose money, right? Again, the movie that all the wokes, all the people on the left tell us that they want it, right? This movie had everything. If you haven't watched the trailer, you can watch it in more context. But this movie has women from all across the board, right? A diversity of women, Asian women, black women, Latino women, European women. They got women from all across the board. These women are playing roles that are traditionally reserved for men, and it bombed. Everything that the feminists told us that they wanted, that we needed to see out of Hollywood, all the representation, all the boxes was checked. But they didn't show out to watch it. They didn't support it. Again, this is why the WNBA flops. In fact, you guys all remember the WNBA championship parade, right? The parade that literally nobody went to. Woo! Yeah, that's an accurate representation of how many people went to the movie theater to watch this movie, right? How empty those theaters were that played this movie. This is why they don't want transgender people to have their own sports, because they simply don't want to see it. They don't want to support it. They know they don't want to see this. It's all about progressivism, baby. Very tiny women beating down huge, gigantic men with no effort. Check. Stupid male characters who fall for simple sexual tricks employed by women. Check. Male security guard getting beat up for doing his job just despite the patriarchy. Check. Interracial for absolutely no reason. Relationships. Check. Girl power. Hero shot of all the leads. Check. Yep. Basically, it's kind of what they try to do in Avengers Endgame. Right? Where they had that shot where all the women would just started, kicking ass. The worst part of the movie, right? Because it was just obvious cringe virtue signaling, in my opinion. An audience is sick and tired of it. Even Benjamin Lee of the extremely far left newspaper, The Guardian, claimed simply replacing male action heroes with women and then standing back waiting for applause is not quite enough. The issue is not whether the 335 is woke or unwoke, entertaining or boring. None of that matters because the audience gave up before the movie even made it to cinemas. 2021 was the year that broke the back of leftist culture, and 2022 will be the year that determines whether the left stays the course or doubles down as usual. They're going to double down because they're going to blame COVID for this. They're going to say, oh no, it's COVID's fault. Again, while Spider-Man, not woke, right, or put it this way, not as woke, is breaking records. But the problem is COVID. It scared the older female crowd from coming out. What's ironic about the 335 is that there is in fact a way to do this type of movie and to make it work. Yes, the idea of an action film with an all-female cast of leads isn't impossible, nor should it be particularly difficult to pull off. Yeah, if it's realistic, right? If they adhere to basic gender biology, right, and and stuff like that, then hey, it might be worth watching. But if it's going to be a whole movie about women beating up men in ways that are completely unrealistic, I'm not about it, right? Especially if it's not a overtly superhero movie. Okay, I can understand it if it's a superhero movie like Captain Marvel or whatever, which I thought was terrible. I can understand that. But when it's just female spies who aren't superheroes or anything like that, just beating dudes up, I don't know about that, bro. All it takes is to acknowledge basic realities about gender biology, stop making the all-male leads imbeciles, betas, or evil sexes, and give both genders a reason to cheer. The The progressive content of the field isn't what's killing it. Rather, it's combined weight of all the other progressive woke films and TV shows that have come out over the past 2 years, which have alienated the vast majority of moviegoers. Couple that with studios continuously blaming the fans and labeling them racist, sexist, bigots, and homophobes / transphobes. And it's easy to see where this is going. Facts. So I hope you guys kind of get a general understanding of what's going on with this movie here, right? It's a movie with an all-female cast that, is supposed to be, what the feminists want, right? It's diverse, okay? You have women taking on roles that are traditionally played by men, doing things that we only really see men do, okay? In ways that are not realistic, okay? And the woke feminists decided not to show up, right? The progressive left, they decided not to support it. And we see this all too often when it comes to this stuff, right? They will yell and scream at the top of their lungs how they need representation, diversity, inclusion. And then once they get it, they don't support it, which again is why the WNBA is flopping, even though, again, you have all these people out there that claim they support the WNBA, right? That the WNBA, they should get equal pay. But you can't get equal pay if you're not generating equal revenue, okay? Just like this movie. They're not generating any revenue with this movie, so how you going to get paid, right? How you going to get paid? If you start to generate the same amount of revenue, you'll get paid, but that's not what's happening, okay? And again, I've argued that this is why they don't want trans people to have their own sports leagues and to compete amongst themselves. They'd rather have them compete with women because they already don't support women. Okay, they already don't care about their league. So if they just let trans people compete with women, that's something that they ain't even got to worry about. Right? They ain't have to worry about it. They can stand on the sideline and virtual signal and say, yeah, you should be able to compete against biological women. Yeah, we support that, but we're not going to watch it, right? We're not going to watch it. I just find this movie bombing to be absolutely hilarious, and it's exposing the left for how much they're actually unwilling to financially support the things that they claim that they care about so much. But let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.